Okay, everybody, here we go. Just for futures, we're going to be starting these Fillmore Pro Certification classes very promptly on time because of the number of people in the room. For your purposes tonight, figure about an hour and a half will be sufficient. Now, I'm sure that some of you have questions about the class, about this whole Fillmore Pro program. So why don't you ask them now, and then I'll flesh out in between the questions. Questions? I'm sure there are 10 Fillmore Pro Certification classes. There are 10 of them, and the way we've got this scheduled out is that a minimum of 5 will be held every month. Okay? You'll notice on the dashboard and also on the individual course outlines, monthly training calendars that come out, there'll be very specific designation about a particular class, course, whatever you want to call it, being a Fillmore Pro designation. Okay? There's going to be other classes that are held over the course of a month that are not part of the certification program, and that'll become abundantly clear once you look at the course, because it'll say Fillmore Pro Certification. So in any given month, there'll be a minimum of 5 held, and they'll be held every month for the next 6 months. So do the math. There's going to be 30 Fillmore Pro Certification classes held over the next 6 months. Roughly, each class, well not roughly, each class will be held 3 times. So if you miss one of the courses next month, it's going to be, that particular class is going to be held twice more over the course of the 6-month period. Okay? So 10 classes, but be very careful, not every class that's held over the course of the month is a certification class. But it'll be very, very clear in the description of the class, both on the agent dashboard and on the individual handouts that I typically hand out preceding that month. Okay? That's one good question. Another question.
If you take the classes before, that's not part of the program.
No, and I'll tell you why. The question was, if you take the classes before, and I know many of you have, that's great, but it will help you with the testing, because one of the things that's going to happen here is that there's going to be written testing for every one of the classes. Now, the written testing is not going to happen until sometime late next month for the classes that we've already held up to that point in time. Okay? There's going to be written testing. Now, on 3 of the classes, this particular one is also going to be video testing. Video testing, meaning that you will have the opportunity to be in a role-play situation, just you in a private room with perhaps your manager or perhaps me, and you'll have an opportunity to be able to put your skills in play. For instance, tonight we're talking about dealing with objections. You'll have the opportunity to role-play 2 or 3 objections. Now, you're probably saying, oh, this is like going back to school, this is, oh, what is this? Here's the bottom line. I know a little bit about training. I was a Navy SEAL in Vietnam, combat veteran. I know what training reinforcement can do. I know what it does. And either you can show it or you can't. That's the way it works. Okay? Either you know it or you don't. Now, here's the upside. The upside is that the written tests follow this course outline exactly. Furthermore, as you can see, there's a camera set up over here. Every one of these classes, every one of the certification classes is going to be videotaped. And it's going to be archived on the agent dashboard in the Fillmore Film Library. So that well in advance, let's just give you an example. The testing for this class will probably be at the end of March. So you'll have an opportunity to review not only the hard copy, but you'll also have the opportunity, should you care to look at the videotape. Now, here's the thing. For those people, and I know there's some people in the room right now who don't necessarily have to be part of this program. But they can also just go online and look at the videotape. And let me make another thing very clear. This Fillmore Pro Certification program is not mandatory. It's not mandatory. But it's the company policy. It's not mandatory for you as an independent contractor, because nothing could be mandatory. This is not mandatory whatsoever. However, it's the company policy, Fillmore's policy, which has nothing to do with you being an independent contractor from that standpoint. It's Fillmore's policy that Fillmore prefers all of its agents to be certified. Now, if you don't want to be certified, that's okay, but it's going to affect your commission split down the road. Okay? If you don't. And that's just the company policy. Totally legitimate, totally legal. Check with the Department of State. Totally cool. Okay? But let's look at the positive side. Here's the key, and I think any of you who can remember being in school or having children who are in school, you know that unless you prove out your knowledge, you don't retain that knowledge. You just don't retain it. It's impossible to retain it. If you come to a class and you're thinking about what kind of cocktail you're going to have later or what you're going to be eating later, it doesn't have the same kind of impact as if you know you're going to be evaluated on the knowledge that you've gained. And what it's going to do to everyone in this room who subscribes to what I'm saying, it's going to make you more effective, more productive, and you're going to make more money. Because the things I talk about here are real life things. Many of you don't know this, but for a period of 5 years, I went on over 700 listing appointments. 700, not 70, 700. Because I was training a very large sales organization. I always went out with fledgling agents. And beyond that, the most experienced agents would always bring me along when they had an $8 million, $10 million property that they wanted to make sure they nailed. So trust me, I know what I'm talking about when we talk about listing and dealing with buyers. Okay, so just take that to the bank, that I know what I'm talking about. All right, what else about the program does anybody have any questions about? Yes?
Will you be having classes in the morning at all?
You know what? We haven't. We've thought about that. We can certainly go ahead and address it, but I'd have to have a critical mass of people that would come to the class. How many of you here, for instance, the question was, are we going to have any of these certification courses in the morning? Are we going to have any in the morning? How many of you would be open to coming to certification? Okay, well great. How many of you would prefer to have morning classes? Then we're going to have some. We're going to have some. Guarantee we'll have some, all right? We'll switch it up a little bit, and that way it'll be much more comfortable for you. We'll switch it up starting next month. I haven't published the new calendar. Just sent it to Barbara Malika tonight, but I'll change a couple of them so we can have some of them in the morning, okay? Great point. Great point. Pardon me? It's a great point, and this is for you, okay? It's not for me, it's not for Fillmore, it's for you. That's who this is really for, okay? What other questions do you have? Let me point out one thing. For those of you who finish the certification, and again, you have 6 months to get it done. If you get it done sooner, that's cool. But once you are certified, and you order your new business cards, there's going to be a little gold emblem on it that says that you're Fillmore Pro Certified. And that will help you when you're dealing with buyers and or sellers. It's just a value-added service and education that you have, okay? No one is doing anything like this in real estate. No one is. And John Reinhardt is very anxious to get out and talk about how his organization is taking a leading step in further educating its people and putting some teeth behind it in terms of ensuring that you take it to heart and that you really learn, okay? What other questions do you have? Anything else? Yes?
Can you take the classes over again?
You can take them over and over again, but one of the, excuse me guys. You can take them over and over again, Yvonne, but one real good thing is that you don't have to physically come to the classes because every one of the classes is going to be videotaped and you can go right online in the comfort of your own home or apartment, wherever you might be, and be able to go ahead and watch the course in its totality. Okay? So you certainly can come back as many times as you want, no question about it, I endorse that, but it's going to be archived in the Fillmore University Library, another first in real estate history. Okay?
I
Question.
just want to get you don't physically have to be in the class, you can actually take it online.
No. The question there was, if you want to take classes over and over again, you can. And my comment back was that if I were you, and I took the class once, and I got certified on it once, I would probably opt to just watching it online rather than physically coming here. You have to come here to physically take the class once, okay? Now, I mentioned before, there are agents who don't need to take this class because they've done $100,000, $150,000 in gross revenue last year, but who are here tonight. They don't have to be, but because they're effectively Fillmore Pro Certified already, just based upon their performance. Right? Everybody with me? Okay, but you have to be here physically to, and first of all, you want to be here physically because I'm telling you this right now, the written test follows what you have in front of you to the T. The test follows this to a T. Nothing on the test is outside of this document. Nothing. And again, to refresh and review, you'll have this document, which you're only going to get if you come here, because this is not going to be posted online. This is not going to be posted online. What's going to be online is the videotaping of this class. Question?
How long is the class?
How long is this class?
Yeah.
The classes will last between an hour and 15 minutes and 2 hours. Okay, and at the beginning, for the next couple classes, I'm going to go through this a little bit and not spend as much time, but this is the first class, first course, and I wanted to provide just some detail. Now again, if you're here tonight, and by the way, if you have appointments later on, if you have family obligations, vamonos, leave. You were here, you got the document that you can study, and you can always audit the course online to catch what you missed. Right? That's totally legit. But you've got to be here to sign in, because that sign-in sheet that everybody had better sign is really the document that determines the rubber meeting the road. Okay? So who has not signed in? Okay? Where is the document? Where is the sign-in sheet? Okay, the sign-in sheet's right here. Please, everybody must sign this document because this is the key. If your name's not on the front, sign the back. Well, let's get this around the room, okay? Let's get that all around the room. Okay, let's get going. Yes? No, the test, and let's get these questions out of the way, okay? And it's good. It's good. The test is not multiple choice. The test is either fill in the blank or, give your own answers. And I'm going to be grading the test. So I'll be liberal with the grading if you have the spirit of what you learned in the class. Okay? Now, just to give you a snapshot. We're going to be covering 15 major objections that you and I face, either over the phone with a for sale by owner seller, or over the phone with an expired seller, over the phone with a seller that we're trying to get in the door with, and or objections that we're going to face right when we're across the listing table or in the seller's property. So you should know typically what to say, but I'm giving you the answers right here, and the role plays right here. And typically for each one of these objections raised, there are 2 or 3 responses, whichever you feel comfortable in doing, and providing. Now, here's the important thing. Here's the important thing. And I think you all know this. Your style is not my style. Her style is not his style. You've got to stay within your own style and your own way with the materials that you learn. But there are critical memory points that you've got to deliver. Now, if you're Chinese or if you're Russian, some of these things don't translate. I understand that. And if when the videotape is being done of you, if you want to talk in your native language, that's fine. Okay? No one's going to be critiquing your style or how articulate you are. It's the concepts. The concepts are what everyone in this room have to deliver with a common thread. Not the words you choose, but the concepts. Okay? Everybody cool with that? Yes? Other questions? These are good questions that we can sort things out with. Other questions? Yes?
Okay. All technics course, you have to 10 classes, all of them?
There's altogether 10 courses, and
And how many do you have to take?
you got to take all 10 of them. You have to take all 10 of them, and you have to pass the written tests. And if there are verbal tests that are going to be videotaped, you've got to pass that. Now, I think there, if I'm not mistaken, there are 3 courses that have both written and oral examinations. You know, one of them is presenting comparables. You've got to be able to, you know, we want to hear what you have to say when you're presenting comps. Okay? Just the strategy, not evaluation of the numbers, just the strategy. Okay? So there's going to be 3 classes where there are effectively 2 tests, written and oral. Now let me say it again, just to make it clear in your minds. There's 10 certification classes. There's going to be a minimum of 5 held every month for the next 6 months, which translates in a very simple mathematical way that each and every one of the 10 classes will be held 3 times over the course of 6 months. And as we suggested, we're going to hold some in the morning, and I'm going to change the calendar to reflect that. Look for 2, at least 2 in the month of March to be held in the mornings, 2 out of the 5. Okay? That way, because about 40% of you raise your hands and you're open to coming. And now, if you don't show up for these morning sessions, then I'm going to bag them, and we're going to do it at night. So show up if you're inclined. Okay? Question.
For the test after you taking the course, how would that do it? Is it after you complete the whole 10?
No. Great question. The question was the testing, the written testing. Do you have to wait till do you wait until you've taken all 10? Absolutely not. There'll be tests for probably 3 or 4 classes at the end of March. Okay? So what we'll try to do them all in one sitting, so you just bang right through them, if you will. Okay, we'll see how that works. Now, no one's asked this question, I'm surprised. If you don't, 80%, right? 80% is the passing grade. There's a no-brainer 10-point bonus question where you can gain some ground at the end. Okay? There's a no-brainer bonus question where you can gain 10 points at the end.
So that's what
I'll tell you what the bonus question is in most cases. When you need an attorney, who are your 2 go-to sources? Come on. All right? So everybody's got 10 points already. All right? Just got to remember that. 80% is the passing grade. If you fail, you've got to wait till the next testing in order to take the test again. But you can take the test as many times as you need to pass it. Okay? Take it as many times. You just have to wait for the next day when we're holding the test. Okay? Question?
Yes, if you have certain classes during the morning hours,
Yes.
will they be repeated sometime later in the
They'll be
evening?
repeated twice more. Not necessarily in the mornings. Not necessarily in the mornings. Okay? There's no way the metrics work that way. Question?
How many questions are on the test?
Typically between 20 and 25. I would say in most cases 20. In a couple cases 25. I would say I've written the course outlines for about 8 classes so far, and out of the 8, 7 of them are 20 questions. So they're worth 5. Each question is worth 5 points each. Yes?
Do the morning classes will be deducted from the night classes?
Say that again?
The morning classes, let's say if you have a session in the morning,
Yes.
is that going to be...
It's going to be instead of the evening class
Oh,
for that month. For that month.
okay.
But the next month, if there's a morning class, I'll make sure there's an evening class.
Okay.
So you have the same amount day and night.
Try, because it's 5 per month, so it's going to be 2 and 3, 2 and 3, 2 and 3.
Like me, I'm not a morning person.
Absolutely, give me a call. You know, I'm available to you. If it's the concept you don't get, give me a call, shoot me an email. It's lesnewlands@fillmore.com. I'm there to help you. Again, this is for you. This is for you. I hope you get past the testing, because all you're going to do great as long as you absorb the material. I know you're going to pay attention. This is for you. Okay? It's for you. You're going to be more productive. You're going to make more money if you buy into these strategies and put them into play. Now, you know, of course, taking the task, buying into it is one thing, but putting it in play is where it really counts. There were some other questions. No?
We already have the first three, classes,
Schedule.
scheduled.
Yeah.
So as we go along, there's gonna be different classes?
Yeah,
We're doing
yeah,
presentation, we're doing, for the class.
Let's make sure I understand the question. The question again.
Okay, are the classes gonna be different?
No.
The subject's gonna be
Nope.
different?
Nope.
So we're gonna be doing presentation again and again and again?
No. Let me go over it again, because this is very, very important, even at the expense of being here a little bit later tonight. Here's the bottom line. There are only 10 courses.
Okay.
Everyone here in this room, if they want to get their Fillmore Pro Certification, must take the 10 courses. All 10 courses are different.
Oh, okay.
They're all different,
Okay.
but they're all going to be repeated 3 times over the course of 6 months. Okay?
And this is the first one.
This is the first one.
Okay.
This is the very first one here tonight.
All right.
Okay?
Are they coming next week? Are they different from the?
Yes.
So you can
Yes.
go to them.
Definitely. What you'll find is this. You know, clearly, if you do the math, if you sat down with a pen and a pencil, you can figure it out. If there's 10 classes, and there's 10 different courses, and we hold 5 each month, each class is held 3 times over the course of 6 months, right? And I'll make sure that some of them are held in the morning and some in the evening to accommodate those folks, and that works for me. That's not a problem.
Morning's different than what's the morning? I don't care.
Right. Well, we're probably going to do it. You're probably going to do it about 9:30 in the morning. Okay. One other question. Question.
Are we gonna have to do this every 6 months or just?
No, it's once.
It's a
Once and
one-time
done.
thing?
Once and done. Once and done. Now here's the important thing. Every agent who joins Fillmore, it's part of their what's the proper word?
Apprenticeship?
It's part of the curriculum that we have here. So it's going to be held ad infinitum for new agents, okay, as well. But you only go through the certification once, one time. That's it. But you can always go to the video library to refresh and review your skill sets. That's the key. All 10 classes are going to be video. Okay? Now please, again, everybody must sign in that sign-in sheet or you're not going to get credit for being here tonight. Because you cannot borrow someone's curriculum and take the test. We're going to have a master sheet. Everybody's participation is going to be posted on the dashboard. Everyone here tonight is going to get credit for being here tonight. And then, obviously, when you come in to take the examination, the certification examination, you'll be noted on the dashboard as someone who's certified for the class on listing objections. Okay? So it's going to be an ongoing type of viewpoint. Okay?